So today we're going to be talking about, we're going to be reacting to an Alexa Philippou article from ESPN, who is the main WNBA journalist on ESPN, talking about the WNBA CBA. So obviously, new details trickled out Tuesday about the league's proposal, including revenue sharing with a maximum salary of more than 1.1 million. And one of the things that obviously they've said as well is that it will continue to grow, which obviously the players have been, is one of the things the players have been looking for, is that, the revenue is going to grow. If the league grows, they get paid more, which is something. So here, it remains unclear what the players think. And in my opinion, it's quite clear, because anytime anything goes against the players, they go to social media. And to be fair, I'm not in these meetings. The players probably have, the players are the league at the end of the day. They're well within their rights to be pissed off in a lot of situations. But it's I think we can all kind of agree they've gone about a lot of things in weird ways. But basketball calendar's already at a point where it's going to be impacted. They're already there. A source at ESPN, when it comes to things like renewals and partnership opportunities, sitting here with uncertain labor negotiations having an impact on the basketball calendar and business. There are companies that have, and again, there's a lot of brands, there's a lot of partnerships that have partnered with Unrivaled, that have partnered with, look, this uncertainty is the biggest revenue driver for Unrivaled. The big reason why Unrivaled has gone up is because it is stalling. It is, and that's where the conflict of interest is stalling and making it a difficult opportunity, making it difficult for the current players, making it difficult for everyone involved. Definitely benefits some of the people in these negotiations. But what priorities are top of the bargaining? Salary structure, we know that. Among several priorities, they emphasize the opted out current CBA. Biggest issues are establishing minimum professional standards in facilities, which I think is going to get there. I think it's going to get there, and solidifying charter flights. And the only thing is, when it comes to solidifying charter flights, is charter flights are going to cost more than the team salary. For all of these teams. The charter flights are going to be more than their salary. It's not an if. These charter flights are. And it is so funny looking back on it, that Joe Tsai was almost made sell the New York Liberty, because I think, what was it? They had a back-to-back, and he didn't want his team flying commercial, so he owned the plane. He literally owned the plane and was like, yeah, you can just fly in my plane. And he nearly had to sell the team. It says, obviously, they want to increase and other cost commitments. I want to find where they talk about expanding retirement, pregnancy, and family planning benefits, also been at the forefront for players. And is it after the 40-plus players met with the league at All-Star Weekend, Breanna Steward said those topics were the only two bullet points both sides had agreed on at that time. Prioritization set of rules requires WNBA players compete in other leagues show up by time of training camp or be suspended for the season. A controversial topic, but it's unlikely owners want to loosen the rules, especially amid expected salary increase. Source told ESPN, but the topic is not largely figured into negotiations so far, but it's not considered a point of concern. Players have expressed desire to weaken or abolish the entire league core system. I would assume coring's not going to be a thing. I would assume coring's going to go. It might not go in year one, but I think coring, it might be literally a thing where it's okay, yeah, 2026, the last year of the core. The hard cap and 12-player roster. I think the roster size becomes a tricky one. I think it becomes a real tricky one. Maybe a 14-player. When the 14-player roster just means there's people just sitting there. I think the hard cap is something they might get rid of. But do leagues such as Unrivaled Project B, Unrivaled Character 7 as an alternative, players want to supplement income without going overseas. I just want to see, does it say anything about... Okay, so basically, the league has no plans of asking for exclusivity. So that is massive. So basically, I think the reason why the league is not asking for exclusivity is they know they can't. They know they can't. If the league's goal was to... if the league wanted exclusivity, already they could have. They would have already done it. If they or not would have already done it, they would have offered more money if they really wanted exclusivity. Because you can't demand players be exclusive to your league while they're getting paid 5 times as much to play in another league. You just can't. You just can't. Like, especially in a salary cap league. Like, you just don't have the power to make these players be exclusive. It's just a fact. Will draft eligibility changed? Draft eligibility hasn't been a meaningful topic of discussion. I think it's a really weird one when it comes to draft eligibility, and that topic obviously matters more now because the international players are getting better. So you're now seeing situations where it's like Malonga is like Sarah Strong's age. And you're like, Malonga is a year into her WNBA career. Sarah Strong legally cannot play in the WNBA until 2028. Whereas Malonga is Sarah Strong's age. And Sarah Strong's rookie season, there's like a month in the difference in their ages. Sarah Strong's rookie season is going to be year 4 for Malonga. And that's why I was like, even with Paige Bueckers, I'm like, yeah, Paige is better now. But it's like, do we think year 5 Malonga is going to be better than year 1 Paige? And most people are like, yeah. Year 5 Malonga is going to be younger than year 1 Paige. Like, it was just mad. It's just mad. Any news regarding the expansion draft? I think the expansion draft is just happening. So, I think the biggest thing here is that there's no exclusivity. So, with there being no exclusivity involved, we're now looking at that not really being an issue. Project B and Unrivaled, because they're not focusing on exclusivity. There's no real conflict of interest there. There's not. We can say what we want, but while I think the Project B salaries, by the way, the Project B salaries Project B have no interest in exclusivity either. They want players to grow their brand, the WNBA, and then come over. So they're happy out with the way the WNBA is right now. They're happy out. So it's one of those things where you've now got where you've now got a like, it looks like they're on the same page. It really does look like they're on the same page, and it looks like we're going to be close enough to getting something meaningful when it comes to the negotiations, the way the players are. It looks like we're getting close. And it looks like, because there's not going to be any exclusivity and doesn't look like the league are pushing for that, then Unrivaled does not clash with the WNBA. It means that, from what we've heard, Project B are initially, it was like, we want to compete with the WNBA, and now it sounds like, actually no, what we want to do is leverage. We want to leverage everything the WNBA has going for it, and we want to use that to promote our league in the off season. And yeah, because look, Project B is not going to grow someone's brand in America. I think everyone realistically should know that. The Project B's brand is not going to grow in America because of but Project B can grow their brand worldwide. But at the same time, a worldwide league is not going to grow someone's brand in America in a lot of situations, because Americans only care about America. No offense. No offense to any Americans. But just from a marketing perspective, the WNBA, even if players had to pay to play in the WNBA, I still think a lot of players would choose to pay to play in the WNBA because of how much money they make from marketing because of it. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much it, lads. It's now an interesting situation, and the no exclusivity does feel like that feels like it's something that is really going to help. Is really going to help this league happen, because at the end of the day, the most important thing is that the WNBA happens. The off-season league, it's going to be hard to get rid of them because the players have played all the way through, and they can't enforce exclusivity, because like, if you force exclusivity, yes, Caitlin Clark and Aja and stuff might still play, but like, do you really think Alyssa Thomas is going to turn down $2 million to play for half of that in the WNBA when her endorsement money is probably extremely low? No, realistically, no. She wouldn't do that. So yeah, look, it's all around. It is an interesting thing to think about. And I do think that the league's in a much better positioned to sort that now than they were, to move on from that than they were a week ago. But anyway, I'll see you guys.